Hello everyone, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're gonna do a detailed comparison of two mid-range smartphones. We have the Lenovo K3 Note which was announced a week back, and then we have the Meizu M1 Note which was announced almost a month back. So these two are mid-range phones with almost similar specs, and they're priced slightly differently. The Lenovo K3 Note is priced 9,999 while the Meizu M1 Note is priced 11,999. So there is a 2K difference between these two devices. So we'll have a detailed comparison of various aspects, and then we'll see which is better device to buy. So let's get started with the comparison. So first up, let's have a quick look at the specs. So the Lenovo K3 Note comes with a 5.5-inch Full HD display. It's powered by an octa-core processor, 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. There is expandable storage, Android 5.0 Lollipop and 4G LTE support, along with a 2900 mAh battery. On the imaging front, this device has a 13 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front camera. Now moving on to the Meizu M1 Note, this comes with again a 5.5-inch Full HD display. It's powered by the same octa-core processor as that of the K3 Note with 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. It does not come with an expandable storage. It runs Android 4.4 KitKat with a custom UI, and it has a 13 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front facing camera, along with a 3100 mAh battery. So that was the spec aspect. Now going to the detailed aspect, let's first see the design and build quality of these two phones. So looking at the design, you can see the K3 Note is exactly the same design as that we found on the A7000. It's a well built phone. It's does have a pretty good design. It is pretty slim and lightweight. It has a chrome finishing on the keys and a matte finish rear panel, and pretty lightweight as well. It's pretty easy to hold and it's pretty compact in hands as well, because it's slim and lightweight. Now moving on to the Meizu M1 Note, this has the design language as that of iPhone 5C, which was launched a couple of years back, and you can see this has a glossy finish at the rear panel, and you can see the edges are curved, giving it a good feel in hand. It's pretty lightweight and even slim as well, and the design looks pretty good. It does not have 3 capacitive buttons. Instead it is just one, while the K3 Note has 3 capacitive buttons, the back, home and the multitasking key, while for the Meizu M1 Note it's on screen, and one home button is only available, very similar to the iOS. So that's the design aspect of these two smartphones. Build quality wise, we would say both these devices are pretty good. We would say the Meizu M1 Note is slightly better in terms of the overall finishing, because the glossy finish, even though this has a glossy finishing, it's really great quality and feels really superior phone, and it's slightly better than the Lenovo K3 Note. But having said that, the Lenovo K3 Note still is one of the good devices in this price point, which is pretty compact, lightweight and has good build quality. So in the design and build quality aspect, we would say the Meizu M1 Note has a slight edge over the Lenovo K3 Note, just because of the premium material used on this device. Now moving on to the display, both these devices have a 5.5-inch Full HD display, and you can see that there is pretty good colors on both these devices. They are Full HD panel, that's 1080p, and one differentiating aspect between these two devices is that there is Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection on the Meizu M1 Note, while there is no such protection on the Lenovo K3 Note. So that's one important aspect about the display on these two devices. Now talking about the display quality also, we would say the Full HD panel on the Meizu M1 Note is superior to the one on the Lenovo K3 Note, and the colors and the touch response is also slightly smoother on the Meizu M1 Note than the K3 Note. But K3 Note does have a pretty good display in this price point, because it's priced 2K cheaper than the Meizu M1 Note. So for that pricing, it's pretty good display. But when you compare with the Meizu M1 Note, the display is definitely superior on the Meizu M1 Note, because the display is one of the superior aspects of the Meizu M1 Note. So in the display aspect, we would say the overall the winner is the Meizu M1 Note. Now moving on to the software and performance, this is one area where the Lenovo K3 Note has an edge, because it's powered by the latest Android software, that's Android 5.0 Lollipop, while the Meizu M1 Note is just powered by the Android 4.4 KitKat. Both these devices have custom UI. One is Vibe UI. This Vibe UI, it's a fairly feature rich UI, but it's not really a great looking UI. and the customization options are very minimal. You can see there is a customized notification center. The settings menu is also customized, but the amount of features like theme support and other options for customization is minimal, but it does run the latest Android OS. Now coming to the Meizu M1 Note, this comes with a Flame OS. That's the custom OS on top of Android 4.4 KitKat, and you can see the custom notification center. You can toggle these options. You can customize a lot of things here, and there is also support for themes. You can see there are lots of themes available on this device. So you can download themes very similar to the MIUI 6. This is more customizable and a bit more polished than the Vibe UI. Vibe UI is has been remaining the same for almost a year. There is no big change happening to the Vibe UI, but with the Flame OS, it's more polished and has a different look. You can see the settings menu. It has a totally different look, very similar to what we saw on the iOS. So all in all, we would say the amount of features in the UI is better on the Meizu M1 Note, but the software is better on the K3 Note because it's Android 5.0 Lollipop. Now talking about the performance, both these devices are powered by the same processor with 2GB RAM and the same GPU as well. So both these devices have great performance, no lag or issues, and the multitasking is also pretty good. And now the multitasking on the Lenovo K3 Note is implemented in the Android Lollipop way, while on the Meizu M1 Note is slightly different. So we would say the multitasking is slightly better on the Lenovo K3 Note because it's using the Android 5.0's default option, while on the Meizu M1 Note it's slightly complex and not really user friendly. Now that was the performance aspect. Now regarding the gaming, this is one area the Meizu M1 Note scores. The gaming performance is really good on the Meizu M1 Note, but the Lenovo K3 Note struggles to perform gaming with high-end games, and we already uploaded a detailed video regarding the gaming experience, and we couldn't play the games in high graphic mode. It was lagging in the K3 Note, but the Meizu M1 Note performance is much better in terms of the gaming experience. So that was the gaming and the performance side. Now both these devices come with 16GB internal storage, but the interesting aspect is that the Meizu M1 Note is non-expandable, so you have to leave with 16GB available, out of which around 12GB is user available. But on the Lenovo K3 Note, you can expand the storage via micro SD card, and more importantly, you can install apps on the SD card, and both these devices support 4G LTE out of the box. Now again, there is a difference here. The Lenovo K3 Note supports 4G on both the SIM cards. That's another important aspect, while the Meizu M1 Note supports only on the first SIM card, and second SIM card is just 2G enabled. That's kind of disappointing if you're using dual SIM cards. Apart from that, the Meizu M1 Note only supports FDD-LTE in India, but the K3 Note supports both TDD-LTE and FDD-LTE in India. So the advantage in terms of the connectivity and features is for Lenovo K3 Note when compared to the Meizu M1 Note. Now moving on to the camera, both these devices pack a 13 megapixel rear camera with dual LED flash. The LED flash on the Meizu M1 Note is dual tone, while the Lenovo K3 Note is just dual LED flash and a front facing 5 megapixel camera. Now looking at the camera interface, we would say the Meizu M1 Note has a slightly better interface with almost all features available with just swipe. You can see here, you can just turn on the manual mode. There is a beautiful manual mode where you can control almost all these features, and there is also filters and other options. Everything is included in the Meizu M1 Note. The same applies to the Lenovo K3 Note as well. You get a lot of filters and options, but there is no manual mode, so that's one change with respect to the Meizu M1 Note. Now talking about the image quality, we would say the Meizu M1 Note is a winner here because it does produce really great clarity images with great color reproduction, sharpness, and the overall clarity is much better than the Lenovo K3 Note. We'll upload a camera sample comparison to our YouTube channel, so you can also check out that video. So where we compare the two 13 megapixel cameras for the photo and video clarity. Now so the overall clarity of the rear camera is better on the Meizu M1 Note, and Meizu M1 Note does produce great results, not just for photos but also for the 1080p sample. It's superior than the Lenovo K3 Note. Now the front facing camera is almost similar. Both these devices can get you a decent 5 megapixel front camera for selfies and also video calls. So in the camera aspect, the clear winner is the Meizu M1 Note. Now talking about the battery performance, that's one area where a lot of users might be interested, and both these devices have almost same capacity battery, and the battery performance is pretty similar on both these devices. You can get 1 day of usage with the 3000 around the 3000 milliamp battery on both these devices, and you can with average usage you can squeeze in a day of usage easily on both these devices. So the battery performance, we would say, is very similar on both these devices, and there's no clear winner in terms of the performance. So that was the detailed comparison. So where does the Lenovo K3 Note have an edge? First step, it has the latest software. It has 16GB internal storage with expandable storage, and you can install apps on the SD card. Apart from that, dual 4G LTE SIM card, so that's the advantage for the Lenovo K3 Note. Apart from that, it also has a price which is 2K lesser than the Meizu M1 Note. So that were the advantages of the Lenovo K3 Note. Now where does the Meizu M1 Note have an edge? The Meizu M1 Note has a great build quality, a better display, and also better camera performance. So that was where the Meizu M1 Note shines, because it's one of the best camera smartphones in this price point, but you have to spend additional 2K when compared to the Lenovo K3 Note. So you have to sort out your priorities on whether you want a value for money device. Then the choice is the Lenovo K3 Note. If you're looking for a slightly better camera performance along with a great display, but you have to compromise on the storage, that is 16GB internal storage, and also 4G LTE is very limited. So that's the thing with the Meizu M1 Note. So overall, it's up to you. If you want a camera, you should be going with the Meizu M1 Note, but if you're looking for a value for money device, the choice is the Lenovo K3 Note. So that was the detailed comparison of these two devices. So hope you like this video. If you have any queries, drop in a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with the queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.